It's your boy Guru from Steiny and Guru, noon to 3, right here on 95.7 The Game. Now back to the morning roast. I'm a roaster because these two guys are my guys. Yin and Yang, right here on 95.7 The Game.
I'm serious. God, this Nicotina Mac Dre beat hits so hard. This might be a Equipto Nicotina. Is that what it is? Yeah.
It's Equipto.
God, this song's so sick.
Sick beanie that I got.
I mean, seriously. All right, let us know about the biggest games and stories in the Bay Area prep scene. Email us at hss@957thegame.com because last night I was watching Archbishop Reardon, the Crusaders, led by Joey Curtin. He's the head coach. He was from my grade. Mm-hmm. Played basketball with him over there. 18th WCAL championship in the regular season for the Reardon Crusaders. So shout out to Reardon Crusaders. If you're a high school team that's out there, whether it be soccer, because I know there's a lot of soccer playoffs coming up right now, whether it's girls basketball, girls, boys soccer, whatever it is. I know baseball's starting up, softball's starting up, track and field is starting up. Let us know. You got to email us at hss@957thegame.com and tell us the stories that are going on. I know the playoffs are right around the corner. I want to know about everything. And if there's a killer shot or a goal or some crazy sequence that you have on video, tag us online and we'll retweet it and share it for everybody because I love high school sports. You know, Alan, I know you're a De La Salle guy.
I am 20-7 this year basketball team.
Are they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, ducking all the smoke from the WCAL for the last 30 years.
It's a far drive. It's
Get
a
the
long
hell
drive.
out of here.
It's a long drive to drive out there,
yeah,
man.
but yet you'll get players from the entire East Bay.
No. Not even. Look,
my wife went to Carondelet for a year, so I know all about De La Salle.
You know, you might think you know. You might think you know. You just stay over here on this side of the bridge. Let us East Bayers do what we need to do.
I love that. All right, we're going to get into some more Warrior talk, but I got to tell you again. All right, thank you to everybody on the Xfinity mobile text line, everybody in the YouTube chat. You got to download that Odyssey app, though. 95.7 The Game, thousands of other stations. Like, for example, I was listening to WIP in Philadelphia, Cataldi this week, because I just wanted to soak into those tears. And millions of other podcasts like the 415ers or the Garlic Fries and Baseball Guys. It's all free on the Odyssey app. They got sports talk, music, there's news. So if you want to hear about these UFOs that are getting shot down, you know, I'm sure KCBS or one of these stations that are part of our Odyssey family, they're talking about it. You can watch every Warrior game or listen to every Warrior game live on the app, along with other music and all the news that the Bay Area has. And you can follow your favorite teams like the Warriors, stations and radio shows, all the podcasts now, by downloading the free Odyssey app. Let's get into this. All right, here's the premise. And Bonte's on vacation. He's probably sipping a Mai Tai, swimming up to a bar right now in Cabo with Baby Chez in tow. I'm imagining him having Baby Chez in one of those backpack strap things where she's in front, even though now she's way too big for those. But that's what I'm imagining, and him with a big straw hat.
Yeah,
that's
ready to go.
Right?
I could see more pina colada for Bonte.
You think he's using the Warrior corporate card?
Who knows?
I'm teasing him.
It's all inclusive. It's all inclusive.
So here we go. All right, here's the premise of this, and I'm going to start us off, and I want to hear from the audience. 888-957-9570, and we've already got people lined up. If you could ask anyone in the Warriors organization a question that they had to answer honestly because you gave them truth serum, what would you ask them? Let us know right now. And I'm going to start with Draymond Green. I think Draymond Green was awesome last night. Mm-hmm. All right? Awesome last night. I think he's been pretty good this year. But there's two things that have been lingering when it comes to Draymond Green. Everyone's going to go to the punch, and they're not wrong. But that's not what I want to ask him about. He made such a big deal about Kevin Durant and what he was going to do in free agency and whether he was coming back or not. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Such a big deal. I want to know if Draymond Green's coming back or not. Are you opting in or are you opting out to leave? That's what I want to know. That's the true serum. Because if he is opting in, I think I need to make some roster changes. Not just because of Draymond Green. Something's off. The vibe is off, and it's because of that punch. It's because of other things that are going on. Things don't fit right. He is such a unique player on both sides of the court. You have to really cater your roster to have him on if you're going to commit to him financially. And I think the dynamic of the team needs to change.
Yeah.
He clearly cannot play with people who don't want to play defense. Would you agree?
Yes, and he's pretty open about that.
Exactly. So I need to make specific roster constructions. Draymond, are you coming back? I'm going to inject you with true serum. Are you coming back or not? I want to know. All right, let's go out to Dirty in Alum Rock. Dirty, If I could inject you or inject someone with true serum in the Warrior organization, who are you going with and why?
Jackie, I'm on your team with this one. I'm actually on the same kind of point with a different question.
What's that?
I would want to know from the Warriors front office or from the Warriors media team, but I'm pretty sure this would relate to front office because they got to go through the top. But I would want to know if the tape was leaked or if it was sold, what was behind that and how did that happen? How did we get sloppy to let that get out to the public?
Whatever happened with that, where they were looking into the report of who leaked the video? It kind of went away.
They must not have been able to figure it out. That intern put in their 2 weeks and got out of there.
Or maybe they don't care.
Or maybe
tinfoil hat.
They got
it out there on purpose, huh?
As we shoot down Chinese balloons, let me put my tinfoil hat on. Are you paying attention to that story, by the way?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of weird. We just want to know
weird.
what the hell we're shooting down, right?
Right. Every day there seems to be something else, and
yeah.
I think somebody came out saying, "Oh, there's definitely UFOs."
Sleepy Joe, here's the truth serum. Are we shooting down Chinese balloons or are they UFOs?
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff I want to hear on the Xfinity mobile text line 888-957-9570. I'll ask it again. If you could ask anyone in the Warrior organization a question, but they have to answer it honestly. No lying, no BS, no podium talk, Steve Kerr, okay? Who would you ask and what would you ask them? That's what I want to know, all right? Is it Steve Kerr? Why did you guys draft James Wiseman if you were never going to play him? If you love and are obsessed with four-year players, why the heck would you do that? All right, let's go out to Alex in Atlanta. And again, people are lining up right now. Get in there. There's a couple slots open. 888-957-9570. If you can inject someone with true serum, what would you ask in the Warrior organization and why? As we sit here and they're 29-29 in ninth place as we head into the All-Star break. We don't know when Curry's coming back. We don't know when GP2's coming back. It feels a little desperate right now. Alex in Atlanta, who are you injecting with true serum and why?
So I'm injecting Joe Lacob with true serum, and the reason is I want to ask that why, after winning a championship last year, neither Kerr nor Myers were offered an extension on their current deals. 90% of the time when a team wins a championship, they're looking to re-up their coaches and re-up the key figures in their front office, and they didn't do either of those things when they won a title last year. And to me, that's a signal that Lacob is probably ready to enter a transition phase with this team and kind of move on to a new regime. And I don't think that gets talked about enough.
That's a good question. Well, I know Lacob said to Tim Kawakami on one of the Tim Kawakami podcast shows that he did offer Myers an extension, and it was quote unquote about top 5 money at the position at the GM spot. And my thing is like, just offer him the most. Like I know, no one wants to do that. It's an opening bid. You want to come in low or whatever, but like, doesn't he deserve some, level of respect on that one? So I don't. That's a really good one, and I do. When I listen to Steve Kerr, I do question how long he wants to be here.
Yeah, don't
fair.
Yeah, don't forget all the the health stuff that he's had come up throughout his tenure.
Good point.
You've already excelled at the highest level. It is interesting. I wanted to get back just real quick to the first call we had about Draymond and that whole situation, and even what you were saying about Draymond, because not only did you mention Draymond being very open, hey, you got to put in your effort on defense.
Yeah.
At the same time, who was Draymond talking about? Do you think it was the collective we from that sound last night, or do you think there was a specific person? Because Jordan Poole.
Where are you going at with this?
Jordan Poole looks awful on defense. Awful.
He's tried harder lately, but yeah, he's not a great defender.
He olays. He does a lot of different things. I don't think it's probably only Jordan Poole.
No.
But to me, Draymond is all about effort, so he wouldn't include Steph in that conversation because he knows Steph works his butt off on the defensive end, even if it doesn't translate. That's why I think the whole defensive effort thing has a lining. But who is Dre talking about? Because last night he said, we're not taking that extra step. It's a little bit too detailed.
You don't think he's talking to Clay?
Could be. I don't know. That's the truth serum.
This goes back to understanding your personnel. Clay at this point is more a 3-4 than he is a 2.
Mm-hmm.
But you already have a 4, and you kind of already have a 3, even though Wiggins can guard 2s and stuff like that. Yeah. So this goes back to roster construction, right? This is and obviously they didn't know that he would have multiple injuries when they gave him the extension, Klay Thompson, but he did have the ACL injury, and you had to have some foresight. And this is why when they gave the 4-year extension to Draymond Green, like, you also have to understand your personnel, and you have to take calculated risks.
Yeah.
And right now they have redundancy in terms of who all these guys can guard, not offensively, but defensively. And it's not a good fit right now. Let's go out to Shamar and Sausalito. Shamar, if you could give truth serum to anyone in the Warrior organization, owner, front office, coaching staff, player, who are you asking that question to, and what are you asking them?
Good morning, fellas. My big question would be for Steve Kerr. What is his idea of the perfect big man on defense and offense? Somebody that can, guard pick and rolls, but you're not looking for too much offense, or somebody that could kind of keep the defense offense on the other side of the court where there is a lob threat. What is his idea of the perfect big man? Because I think it's just been a struggle. It's a lot of pressure on Kevon Looney. We don't have a guy that's, over 6'10", just the presence and the size that a big man can take up. What's his idea of the perfect big man? Because it's just been for the last few years. If we don't have superstar power from the perimeter, we're looking like the Rockets right now. That's where we are right now because we don't have a defensive presence.
Yeah. It's a good call, Shamar. 888-957-9570. If you can give truth serum to anyone in the Warrior organization, who are you giving it to and what are you asking them? Let's start with Kerr's ideal big man because he actually brings up a good one. In my mind, do you know what I was thinking of, which sounds absurd? His ideal big man is Hakeem Olajuwon. Elite defender who can pass out of the block.
Right.
Can set some screens a little here and there, but doesn't necessarily have to have, even though he has the dream shake at the block, doesn't have to have the ball. Like Brad Miller, Andrew Bogut, right? Not what James Wiseman's doing. I honest to God think that if you gave him Shaq in his prime and he had to start there, I don't know what it would look like.
It's not an offense that
it's against his principles and his philosophies.
You drafted a centerpiece center, and your offense does not lend itself to what James Wiseman does
at all.
At all. And I'm looking at James Wiseman and just how things didn't fit per se. And my question is just, how was this whole thing vetted? Was it simply, hey, because at the beginning of the season, I was thinking, all right, if James Wiseman could be JaVale McGee, I think that's enough. Are you telling me he couldn't be JaVale McGee when the Warriors had Durant? You're telling me he couldn't do that?
I wanted to see him do some of that stuff. JaVale McGee was 1 foot out of the league before he got here.
I'm like, he couldn't do
Literally
that?
1 foot out of the league. And then thought he was going to get bought out by the Warriors at one point. So we have this revisionist history on how impactful some of those bigs were. They weren't that. But I think the bigger thing is that the reason why I say Hakeem, that's everybody's logical
Jokic.
Prototype. Yeah. Well, even Jokic, I don't think he plays enough defense for Steve
That's
Kerr,
true.
Right?
That's true.
But that's how unrealistic I think his expectations were and are for their bigs, right? It's just, I don't know, man. All right, let's go out to Coach Hall in San Diego. 888-957-9570. If you can give truth serum to anyone in the Warrior organization, now that they're 29-29, ninth place in the West, Curry's out, Wiggins misses last night. I'm encouraged, but it feels very desperate right now. What are you asking? Who are you asking? Coach Hall, what do you got?
Hey, good morning, guys. First off, Chef, thank you for mentioning track and field, man. That's near and dear to my heart as I'm the head track coach here at San Diego High School.
Oh, nice.
But I'm a hoops fan first.
Nice.
I've always wanted to ask Steph, does he ever want to force owner or leadership's hands? LeBron has his hands in everything, and I feel like Steph has, just as much the right to, put this roster together, say no, go get another superstar. But, Steph is so dope and selfless. I just always wanted to ask, Steph, did you ever just, kind of want to just force their hand, be outspoken like Draymond? Because I feel like he can control a lot.
That's an interesting question. I've never heard anybody really say that because they were, he's so selfless and this and the other. And I know that there was an erroneous report that Steph went to management and told them to trade Wiseman away.
Right.
That's not true, at all. All right. Now, maybe he didn't love playing with him. But that's not. From everybody I've talked to associated with the situation, that's not in his nature, and that's not what he did.
Right. And that It's not who he is, but it would be nice to just get Steph's real thoughts on a lot of these situations and how he would react, to certain things. What was his take on even drafting Wiseman? I think everybody thought, hey, we just add a big man to the mix. This is going to be great. Or would we get an answer from Steph? And I don't want to get everybody going here, but, that LaMelo Ball looks like he can pass that rock to me. Pretty nice.
I don't think he ever wanted to play with LaMelo
Pretty
Ball.
nice.
Alan.
Alan. Saying.
LaMelo is everything that the Curry family has disdain for.
How do you figure?
Because the flashiness,
Steph is flashy, though.
No. I'm talking about just how you have to be in control at all time. Ball dominant player. The LaMelo Ball thing is way overblown. Like, if we want to have this conversation, they should have taken other players. Even Halliburton made more sense, and that was a name that we did hear connected with the Warriors. And trading down was also it. Like, I wanted Isaac Okoro at one point. You know what I mean? Because I wanted somebody who could fill an Iguodala type role. We do have Steph Curry sound, though, regarding James Wiseman, and I thought it was actually interesting in this conversation as we talk about what Steph wants. Was he a part of this? And before we play it, remember, 888-957-9570. Call us on the Xfinity mobile line right now. Let us know. If you could ask anyone in the Warrior organization a question, and they had to answer it honestly, who would you ask, and what would you ask them? Here's Steph Curry talking about James Wiseman.
I mean, it's such a unique situation from jump where we're coming off of 5 straight finals appearances. We have a down year, second pick. It was a guy that, on paper filled a need for us in terms of, a big presence like that could be athletic on both ends of the floor. And I know it's been well documented just the ups and downs that he's had in his whole career with the injuries, the COVID stuff they had, first training camp to the meniscus surgery and the challenges there. Every time he started to figure out a little bit of momentum and show the signs, he had something kind of pull him off the floor for whatever reason. So he never really could figure out just the availability part. Nothing he could control there. It was just a matter of how the cards were dealt. And I think we all love James. Like, that's the biggest thing. It's a guy that you root for. It's a guy that will be able to figure it out. It's a guy that approaches every part of his job the right way, has a great attitude considering everything he's been through and the expectations around him and the conversations around him. So a lot of confidence that he'll be around this league for a long time. I don't know what his ceiling is, but it's a guy I want to see, figure it out and have an opportunity. I know it's been said it just wasn't going to be here because of all those circumstances and the fact that it was just tough to find minutes for him because of what we're trying to do and what Lou and Draymond and even J. Mike now bring to the floor. So I'm happy. I'm excited for him. I hope he does some great things in this league.
Why are you laughing?
Steph wanted that man out of here.
You think so?
I mean, it was a very Steph way to put it, but I mean, he was pretty honest.
So Michael Green really it's just like, what was it? This is like when the Chicago White Sox traded Fernando Tatis. I mean, we've just got so many guys in the pipeline. We have to get James Shields.
Yeah.
That's the guy who's going to change everything, and we just don't have room for Fernando Tatis.
I'm looking at the
Jr.
books here. I'm not seeing innings. I'm just not seeing minutes for James Wiseman.
I mean, come on, for Michael Green.
I'm not seeing.
What's the average? I'm going to look this up. You keep talking. I'm going to look this up.
Steph is sitting here looking at the sheets, looking at the roster. I don't know where these minutes are going to come from. I think that
please,
and I'm going to take you back. I'm going to take you back to the beginning of the year. And look, I'm going to keep talking about this because it was an awful look. The beginning of the year, this is where everything went south for James Wiseman. In Orlando, at the beginning of the year, that first road trip when it was awful, and James Wiseman asked for the rock from Steph Curry. Steph Curry did not get him the rock in the paint, and James Wiseman showed up Steph Curry.
Showed him? What, is he a little frustrated?
Frustrated, threw his hands up, whatever it is. He was not happy. Give me the rock. I don't care for Steph Curry.
Really?
Steph Curry at that moment said, you know what? This kid's got to go.
I don't buy that.
And Steph would say, but in a Steph way, we need to get this guy some minutes. He needs more minutes. But it ain't going to be here. It ain't going to be here. That right there was the most truth serum we're going to get from Steph. He's not going to get minutes.
You can't have it both ways.
And they're 500 team.
But you can't have it both ways. Like, this is my biggest gripe with Warrior fans. And even if this is the veterans' prerogative, you cannot have it both ways. You can't say, we are committed to the veterans and we only have time for the veterans, and then the veterans are pooping down their leg with 6 minutes to go in a dozen games, okay? At a dozen games, and then say, we've got no time for any of the failures of the rookies. Meanwhile, the veterans, the seasoned guys, are playing like dog crap.
Look.
You can't have it both ways.
I'm not saying that's how I feel. I'm saying that is what I'm taking from what Steph just said. Something just like you said, whether you want to start it with the punch, whatever it is, and we've gone back and forth about this timeline stuff, right? Mm-hmm. It was the.
It's not a timeline. We're asking them to sprinkle in some. See, this is my biggest problem. The timeline thing is so overblown. We're acting like, take the baton, please.
But I think you're underselling how much they wanted from.
No, they just wanted these guys to be contributors. They wanted him to play some minutes and mix into the mix. Like, they wanted him to be in the mix. Yeah. Again, Jermichael Green's playing 14 minutes a game. That's what I wanted from Wiseman. Can you give me 14 minutes a game? No one was saying he got 38 minutes. I need to see Wiseman at 20 years old. 38 minutes.
But I don't disagree that Wiseman could have gave you 14 minutes. I don't know why they didn't play them. I have no clue. But something was amiss. Something was amiss. And hearing Steph, I mean, come on. Steph, he always is talking. He always goes the highest road. And he even
what I would say to Steph? Steph, you wanted Avery Bradley, and you were wrong. And we brought in GP2, and you trusted us then. And did it work out? Hell yeah, it did. So much so that you were opining for Gary Payton Jr. to come back. And then we said, you know what? It's probably not a smart decision to bring back Otto Porter Jr., who's been out all year. Mm-hmm. And we managed him brilliantly last year. And then we don't want to bring back GP2 because we actually think we've seen the best of him. And they were kind of right there, too.
Yeah. Look, I am saying this is what I heard from Steph. This man just said, I don't know what his ceiling is about James Wiseman. Who says that? Who says that?
Everyone says that. Like,
no, everybody
why
says,
would you say? Why would you set the kid up to
Wiseman? You don't draft because initially when you drafted somebody at 2,
yeah, but you don't say he's the next Wilt.
Okay, we're saying no. But I'm not saying to say he's the next Wilt. I'm saying in terms of ceiling. What do we all say about Kuminga? High ceiling. That doesn't mean you're ever going to reach it. Steph didn't even say he had a high ceiling. Steph says, I don't know what his ceiling is.
I mean, he's talking at a podium. He's just saying words. You say words all the time. Good, great, somewhere in between. Like, I don't dwell on the words, the word choice.
Well, you talk a lot if you're Steph Curry. He said, I don't know what this man's ceiling is.
I don't know. Look, I'm going to tell you this right now. This is a bad trade for them. I'm one of the only people that thinks it. I think we've seen the best of GP2. Mm-hmm. I think they made the right decision to allow him to walk. He's damaged goods, and I feel bad that they're getting rid of Wiseman early. I don't think he was a fit for this year, but moving forward, I would much rather have him on my team than GP2. Moving forward, that's just my prerogative, and maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. I want to see him in Detroit. Let's go to Casey and Marin. Casey, get in here, 888-957-9570 on the Xfinity mobile text line. The truth serum question. If you could ask anyone in the Warriors organization a question that you know they have to answer honestly, no BS, who would you ask and what are you asking them? Casey and Marin, what do you got?
Good morning, gentlemen. I'm enjoying the conversation. My question for Joe Lacob. Joe, I would love to know why you think your son is going to be a better general manager than
You're cutting out a little. So this is what he said, KC. Joe Lacob, the question's for you. Why do you think your son is going to be a better GM than Bob Myers? That's a loaded question. Let me just start here. And this goes back to the Steph thing. Mm-hmm. And I see Oscar and Tim and John. We're going to get to you guys in a second. I think us sports fans don't realize it is a business. Mm-hmm. And Joe Lacob bought the business. And I'm going to tell you straight up, if I bought a business, no one is going to tell me what I would do with my family in terms of positioning them in that business. My grandfather started a business. I'm going to be honest with you here. He started a bicycle business years and years and years ago. Okay, my uncle Jim took over the business.
Okay,
at some point, if his sons want it, one of the sons is going to take over the business, right? Because he's the one who's put all of the money everywhere. Now, do I love that? No,
right,
but that's how it is. Now, that being said, like my uncle, he learned at the feet of my grandfather in the industry. and started off sweeping floors in the warehouse at Mary Sales over there off of Bryant Street, okay, and learned every aspect of the business. Is he a perfect owner? I don't know.
Right.
But you know what? He put in his due time and learned and all those things, and he's at a position now where he is now running the business, and he's probably going to do the same thing with his son.
Yeah.
You know why? Because he's the owner. Now, I know these are sports teams that we have attachment to. I love the Warriors, and Joe Lacob's done so many great things. I don't know if he wants his son to be the GM at one point. I would think he would want his son to be more in a ownership.
I think Anthony Slater
role.
said something like that on Damon and Ratto.
That's the way I think.
Yeah.
And if that's true, he has put in the. Now, look, again, you guys can all say, oh, he was gifted it. He's put in the work.
It's a lottery, man.
He's put in the work, though.
Right.
But like Island, I think that's unfair because my brother is in the same industry as my whole family. Every job site my brother's ever been on, oh, you're only here because of your dad and your uncle. You know how much you have to overcome those things.
No, I agree. All I'm saying is it's a lottery in that everybody's starting line is not the same based on who birthed you. That's just a fact. What you do with it also matters.
Agreed.
Right? So
Agreed.
you are in a better spot, but that doesn't mean that they're going to overlook. If Kirk Lacob stinks, Joe Lacob would get him out of there because look, we're family, but you're not going to mess up my money.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying. We can't say that everybody's starting line is not the same.
Yes.
But what you do with it based on where you start, where you finish that race, that is up to you.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I understand.
Like Jet York.
Exactly.
He was given control of the team. It didn't start off great. Mm-hmm. I feel like he's done a pretty damn good job over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Right? Like he's been to 6 NFC championship games.
Right.
You know how many teams would die? The Cleveland Browns would die to be the San Francisco 49ers.
And if you sit there and you think, if I were in that position, I could do the same thing. I'm not saying you're wrong, but we'll never know.
Exactly.
We'll never know.
We've got a zillion people online. This is really a good topic today. The truth serum question. If you could ask anyone in the Warriors organization a question, and they have to answer it honestly, who would you ask? And what would you ask them? Let us know here on the roast. It's Styles and Shasky. Let's rat-a-tat-tat some of these because, man, people are fired up. Let's go to Oscar in Vallejo. Oscar, step right up, no waiting. Who are you asking and what are you asking them?
What's going on? This goes for all the front office, man. Did we really need to trade James Wiseman? Let's think about that.
Apparently they thought so. For what? A month of GP2 if they're still playing. I know they have him next year.
We don't know when he's going to be back.
Right.
It did feel like a quote-unquote vibes acquisition, to quote Damon Bruce, where they were trying to feel good. I think the one thing we underestimate is the human element in the locker room. Mm-hmm. And it is such a small traveling circus where you've got the 12 players, 15 players, you've got the X amount of coaches and the staff and whatnot. Everyone does have to get along, and you got to be around people that you like. And so if there is a divisive individual in the locker room, and I know the Lakers right now are ripping Russell Westbrook, whether you agree, think it's fair, unfair, whatever, there is clearly a disconnect, right? And you have to get rid of those individuals because, it's addition by subtraction.
Yeah,
I don't know if James Wiseman was some Debbie Downer.
No, I don't know.
And I think it's unfair for me to speculate.
Well, and I don't follow James Wiseman on social media. And yes, you do have to go there because that's just how society is now. I know that Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins are really close.
Yeah.
I know Steph has got his family.
Yes.
Obviously, Steph, Draymond, and Clay, they came up
There's
together.
a love there.
Kuminga, I'm not necessarily sure who he kicks it with, but I always see him laughing and joking. But he's been playing, right? You have James Wiseman, who's been injured. I don't know who James Wiseman's boys on the team were. Who was he texting?
Clay. It seemed like Clay and him were tight.
Okay.
Because Clay showed like they were going through the rehabs together. But again,
that's true.
I don't know if that's authentic.
Clay loves a big man. Clay loves a big man.
For sure. And I don't even know if that's authentic. Let's hit some of these other ones. Alan, we're on fire here. Mr. G in Napa. Truth serum. You can ask anyone in the Warriors organization anything you want. What are you asking?
Well, in the line of who says the truth, of course.
Yes.
I think it's 90% no. Is everybody cool with Draymond punching a teammate? Is everybody cool with that? Is he really their brother, or is he on the way out and they want to try to win some games with Draymond? You know the answer to this. Nobody's cool.
Mr. G, that's the $1 million question. And but this goes back to, this is where I think Draymond, again, I'm a hypocrite. I admit it. I'm raising my hand. Hi, my name's Joe. I'm a hypocrite. All right. I admit it all the time. All right. I admit I'm a hypocrite. Draymond, you were the guy who was calling out Kevin Durant about, are you coming back or are you not? And now, when faced with the exact same equation, you're over here saying, I don't know what I'm going to do.
But how many people have been asking him about that?
Oh, people have been talking about it. And he said, it's a decision I'm going to wait till the offseason.
Well,
which is exactly what KD said.
Is exactly what KD did. I don't know. I mean, Draymond's playing really well. We know he wanted the max. Is anybody going to pay him more than $27 million next year?
Oh, well, see, this is the way the NBA works. It's not, are you going to pay me more than 27? Are you going to guarantee me more than $27 million over the life of a contract?
Yeah.
That's the question. That's like what Jay Crowder's going through right now.
Sure.
It's not about the X amount of million that he wants for next year. It's about the life of the next contract, right? And I don't know.
He's opting in.
I do think Mr. G is correct. I don't think he is. I think he's gone. I think he thinks he can get 80 to 110 million from some other sucker on a 3-year deal somewhere else.
With Spadonuts Lake Show?
Who knows who? Who knows? All right, let's go out to Cruiser in the 209. Cruiser, you can ask anyone anything you want, and they have to be truthful. We're injecting them with truth serum. I'm trying to think of what superhero had truth serum. I don't think there was anybody. But anyway, let's go, Cruiser. Who are you asking in the Warrior organization and why?
Hey, morning, fellas. I would ask either Myers or Lacob. Hell, let's put them together. I would ask them, if the Warriors don't win the chip last year, are they still trading Wiseman this year? That's it.
Wow. That's an interesting way of looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? If they don't win the championship last year, let's say, for whatever reason, they lose to Phoenix in the Western Conference Finals because Phoenix somehow won. They lost to Phoenix, and they don't get to the championship, and they don't win it all. You think they're still trading James Wiseman? That's an interesting question.
I think that if they don't win it, it's really a flip of a coin, because you would either think, we got to trade him so we can make that step and get somebody, or, okay, the final dance has happened. Let's focus on James Wiseman. And at that time, he was still injured. I don't know. I have no clue if James Wiseman gained value in the games he played this season or lost value. I have absolutely no clue.
I think you're 100% correct. I don't know what the woulda, coulda, shoulda would be.
Yeah.
Because I can see it both ways.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think, if we're being real, winning the championship last year has diluted their thinking into thinking, oh, yeah, we're still a champ. Like, not dilute is probably not the right word. Clouded up whatever their vision was of where they were going. Because I do think that they won the championship in their own minds, even if they were being optimistic prematurely.
Right. And I would.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes. And I would. That's why, Joe Lacob was doing the victory lap about the two timelines last season in those interviews. And, we've gone back and forth, said, okay, well, maybe it's because they were on the roster. They didn't have to trade him away to win, versus the fact that they didn't really help the Warriors win a championship. I would ask Joe Lacob, what does a Warriors amusement park look like?
What do you mean?
A couple months ago, he did an interview and he was saying, I want Warriors movies and Warriors amusement parks.
Joe, can we just get to the playoffs? All right, we'll talk amusement parks in the offseason.
He's down to Santa Cruz. He sees that boardwalk.
I was going to say, is he going to buy Great America?
Let's do it.
Because isn't it for sale? All right, by the way, everyone's telling me Wonder Woman has the lasso of truth. I knew there was somebody.
That's right.
I knew there was somebody. DC. Okay, so we've got the lasso of truth. And now full equality here. We're going Wonder Woman. I have not done a Wonder Woman metaphor yet, so this is great. I'm glad we're doing this as we watch an all-female aircraft show before the Super Bowl. Did you guys notice that?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it was all women in as the pilots. That was pretty cool. Let's go to RJ in New York. RJ, step right up, no waiting, and anyone can get in. Let's continue this conversation. 888-957-9570. You have the lasso of truth. They have to be truthful. You lasso anybody in the Warrior organization, and they have to tell you the honest truth. What is the question you're asking, and who are you asking it to? RJ in New York. Going once, gone. TJ in Atlanta. TJ in Atlanta, step right up. Same question. Lasso of truth. Who you gathering up, and what are you asking them?
Hey, I got a question for Kerr. Why didn't he just adapt to Wiseman? I mean, I feel like Kerr is honestly a great enough coach where he could have just manifested the offense, go a little bit more pick and roll heavy with Kuminga or pick and roll heavy with Jordan Poole, since those are downhill threats. And just, you got to get Wiseman active. Him just obviously wasn't working with our offense, so just switch the offense up. It was, I don't know.
No, I'm with you.
Like trading him was just too much talent there to just give up on.
I agree. I think they conceded prematurely. The other thing is, we're asking, this is the other thing. I'm not asking them to change the way they play for 48 minutes. I'm saying, dog, after every 10 motion offense, ball movement, read and react plays, can you mix in a pick and roll? Mm-hmm. Can you mix in throwing it into the block? We're asking once every for the 9 minutes where it coincides when Kuminga and Wiseman might be on the floor. Can we maybe run a couple plays that would be to their catering?
Well, he's sitting there. I can imagine James Wiseman, and I know a lot of people have said, look, this was a lot for James Wiseman, too, to give him opportunities because he's sitting there at practice, working on his post-up moves, knowing, why am I wasting my time doing this? I'm not getting run, and when I do get run, Ty Jerome is looking me off so he can chuck up a three. But I'm down here at practice working on my post moves for absolutely no reason. Absolutely no reason. You're practicing your best hitter, right? 3-4 hole. Hey, we need you to bunt. Just make sure you practice 20 bunts a day. Why? You're not going to ask me to bunt.
Yeah, Bonds ain't bunting. But he's not Bonds. But you get what I'm saying.
Yes. James Wiseman, he's sitting
For
there.
example, Matt Stairs.
Yeah.
He's Matt Stairs, okay? Mm-hmm. Matt Stairs ain't bunting.
No.
He's going in there to hit a softball home run.
Right. Why am I practicing things that we're not going to ever do?